Here was a time, not so long ago, when a mall wasn't just a place to shop. It was where life happened. You met friends at the fountain. You browsed cassette tapes at Sam Goody. You lined up for greasy pizza at Sparrow or pretzels from Annie Ann's. It was a second home for teenagers, a Saturday ritual for families, and a symbol of American prosperity. But today, many of those malls are empty. The fountains are dry, the neon signs flicker, and the only sounds are the echoing footsteps of urban explorers documenting what's been left behind. What happened? This is the complete story. The rise, the golden age, the decline, and the uncertain future of the American mall. To understand how malls became so iconic, we need to go back to post-World War II America. The 1950s were an era of explosive economic growth. Soldiers came home, started families, and bought homes in the newly developing suburbs. Suddenly, suburban life, with its two-car garages, picket fences, and backyard barbecues, was the new American dream. But there was a problem. These new suburban communities lacked centralized shopping areas. Families didn't want to trek back to crowded downtowns to do their shopping. They wanted convenience, shopping closer to home, with plenty of parking and all in one place. Enter Victor Gruen, an Austrian-born architect with a radical idea. What if shopping wasn't spread across random streets and strip malls, but brought together under one roof, protected from weather, and designed as a place to gather, stroll, and socialize? In 1956, Gruen's vision became reality with the opening of Southdale Center in Edina, Minnesota, the first enclosed, climate-controlled shopping mall in America. Southdale was a sensation. People came not just to shop, but to experience. Wide hallways, central fountains, natural light streaming in from skylights. It was as much a social experiment as it was a commercial one. It was the birth of the American mall as we knew it. From the late 1960s through the 1980s, malls exploded across the American landscape. By the mid-1980s, there were over 16,000 shopping malls across the United States. Suburban sprawl fed their growth. As new neighborhoods popped up, developers anchored communities around regional malls. These weren't just places to shop. They were where life happened. For teenagers, the mall was a rite of passage, the first place you could hang out without parental supervision. There were arcades, record stores, quirky fashion boutiques, and those unforgettable food courts packed with chain favorites like Orange Julius, Cinnabon, and Hot Dog on a Stick. Malls were cultural touchstones, appearing in countless movies and TV shows. From Fast Times at Ridgemont High to Clueless, the mall was the backdrop for coming-of-age stories, a place where romance blossomed and social hierarchies formed. Anchor stores like Sears, JCPenney, and Macy's provided stability, while smaller specialty stores brought flavor. Parents could browse furniture while teens rated the latest trends at the Limited, Claire's, or Spencer's Gifts. By the late 80s, malls were symbols of American consumerism, the physical embodiment of the suburban dream. As dominant as malls seemed, change was on the horizon. The 1990s introduced two forces that would quietly undermine the very foundations of mall culture: big box retailers and e-commerce. Big box stores like Walmart, Target, and Best Buy began spreading across suburban America. Unlike traditional malls, these giants offered lower prices, wider selections, and the convenience of one-stop shopping without the need to wander a massive indoor complex. Families who once spent weekends at the mall could now get groceries, electronics, and clothes at a single location, often cheaper. At the same time, the internet was beginning to change consumer habits. In 1995, a little website called Amazon was born, selling books online. What seemed like a novelty would soon become a retail revolution. At first, malls adapted, adding more entertainment options like movie theaters, mini amusement parks, and restaurants. But foot traffic was already in slow decline. The 2000s marked the start of the Great Mall die-off. Department stores, once the anchors that held malls together, began to falter. Chains like Sears, JCPenney, and Macy's faced brutal competition from online retail and changing consumer tastes. When an anchor store left, foot traffic plummeted and smaller stores followed. The 2008 financial crisis accelerated the collapse, with foreclosures and bankruptcies gutting consumer spending. By the 2010s, once vibrant malls were being dubbed dead malls. Vast, echoing spaces with boarded-up storefronts, flickering lights, and collapsing ceilings. Photographers and urban explorers made dead malls a kind of modern ruin porn, documenting the eerie beauty of America's failed temples to consumption. Between 2010 and 2020, nearly 25% of malls in the U.S. closed. Retail jobs vanished, and communities lost more than just shopping centers. They lost social spaces. When COVID-19 hit in 2020, it delivered the final blow. Malls, already fragile, were forced to close temporarily, some never reopened. Consumers stuck at home fully embraced online shopping. Even older generations, once hesitant, learned to rely on Amazon, Instacart, and curbside pickup. Malls lost their last advantage, the ability to offer in-person experiences. Despite the carnage, not every mall is dead. Some have evolved, transforming into lifestyle centers with apartments, gyms, medical offices, and even schools. Luxury malls in wealthy areas, like the Grove in LA or Mall of America, still thrive, blending shopping, dining, and entertainment into an experience worth leaving home for. And in other cases, dead malls are being repurposed into community hubs, e-commerce distribution centers, or even mixed-use neighborhoods. The mall may never return to its 1980s glory, but its bones are being reshaped into something new. The mall was more than a place to shop. It was where memories were made, where first jobs were found, where teenagers discovered freedom. And even if the malls fade, those memories live on. This is the story of the rise and fall of the American mall, a story of ambition, innovation, excess, and change. And like all great American stories, it's still being written.